going to talk a little bit about the new vocabulary. I hope you had a chance to go to the Learning Commons and print your vocabulary list. That will be very helpful for you going forward, and it would have helped you on the homework due last night. So if you didn't already, please go get that printed. Obviously, if you are a commuter and you're not on campus right now, or if you are learning from home, you'll need to print it from your own printer. But it is helpful and worth it. So let's take a look right now at what we have here. So this is your sheet. If you would look at my screen, I'm going to point out a couple things. Stick with me, maybe mark a few of these things on your own vocab sheet as well. So the first column on the left, a la izquierda, you will see la familia, different members of the family. Unlike English, a lot of times all you have to do to use the masculine version or the feminine version is to change the ending. So whereas in English I have words like uncle and aunt, or brother and sister, or niece or nephew, in Spanish we just use one word and change the O or the A. So in some ways it can make it a little bit easier. There's still a list of things you need to memorize though. So el abuelo or la abuela, grandfather, grandmother. Los abuelos, just grandparents. Okay, and you can see going down the difference in the way that works. That's why you see this little slash O versus A and then the L and the la. Okay, there are a few exceptions to that rule, but we'll get to those later. Esposo, esposa, you can kind of see the word spouse in there, right? Because your husband or your wife is your spouse. So sometimes as I give you these little tricks or tools to help you remember them, that can be helpful as you study. Right? Now I want you to look at this. The word for brother and sister is hermano or hermana. Hermanastro is stepbrother or stepsister. Right? So they're similar, they just have this astro at the end. Okay? If you look at hijo, that's son, or hija would be daughter. If you look at hijastro or hijastra, it's very similar, it just has astro at the end. Similarly, with mother and stepmother, you see madre or madrastra, so it has astro at the end, it just made feminine with the A. Same with padre and padrastro. So we see a pattern here. If you see A-S-T-R-O, astro at the end, it is the step version of that. So here's my terribly stupid way to remember this, okay? Astro looks like stars, astrology, astronomy, right? Astrological, right? Stars. So if you want to get to the stars, you're going to have to take lots of steps, right? So therefore we have a step, whatever. If that doesn't help you, then you can just forget that I ever said anything. But I often give people that clue so that as they're seeing words that look similar, like hijo or hijastro, madre or madrastra, that little astro and steps to get to the stars, that step helps you remember that it's step brother, step sister. It's kind of corny, but whatever helps you memorize it better. Okay. Here's my next terrible one. Again, I'm full of these terrible ways to help you remember. Nieto is a grandson, nieta is a granddaughter. It kind of looks like nido, right? And grandparents all think that their grandkids are nido. Again, I know that's really bad, but if that helps you remember it on a test, great. There are a few where you can't just change the O to an A to mean masculine or feminine, and here's a perfect example. Daughter-in-law is nuera. Son-in-law, if you jump all the way to the bottom, is yerno. So those are slightly different. Okay, so those you just have to memorize. Okay, the last one you need to watch out for, because this is easy to get mixed up, is parientes. Parientes sounds like parents in your head, right? But it's relatives. So your aunt, your uncle, your cousin, those are all your parientes. Okay, parents are padres, right? Los padres. There are a lot of other things on this list. Those were really the main ones that I wanted to go over. If you look down here, you have a list of adjectives. I'm going to be teaching you in the next video a little bit about how they work. And then if you would look at the top right here on this column, you'll see a bunch of nacionalidades, nationalities. You'll notice these are all lowercase. So in Spanish, your days of the week, your months of the year, your nationalities, and your languages are all not capitalized like they are in English. Okay, that's all I have for right now for this first vocab lesson. So just make a note of those. You'll be doing an activity on Flipgrid where you introduce yourself and your family here in a minute.